Hey VC, what's up? It's me, yours truly. I'm back to post a quick video here. Uh, just going to share with you kind of the next recent finds, actually. I'm still going through my cleaning out process, cleaning out my collection, which has been giving me stuff to trade in, and this is just stuff that I've picked up over the past week and a half through trades. And truly trades too, because I think there's one record I paid $19 for in here, and all the rest were things I just traded my guy at his store, and he gave me store credit, and I picked up all of his stuff. And I've been taking all of my stuff to him kind of exclusively, so he's even been nice enough to, you know, he's ordering stuff for me as well and letting me, put my trade towards those orders, which has been really, really cool. So this is just kind of the next week and a half of stuff. Still really been enjoying going through the process of cleaning out my collection. I pretty much just have my punk, metal, and R&B section to do, and then collection has been cleaned. And a number of cool things about kind of doing that is not only being able to trade for great stuff without getting new stuff without spending any money, but also kind of rediscovering your collection. And I'm just saying that because of what's playing in the background, which is this Wynton Marsalis. And I got this record when I first started collecting vinyl, like, I don't know, 8 years ago, 7, 8 years ago, something like that. And for those that may have been around the VC back then, I told the story about a record store where the guy died, and so his family was just going to shut the store down. So they basically took all his overstock and just everything and put it in this warehouse. It's like 250,000 records, and they just opened the doors, and everything was $1. And they did that for like 8 weekends in a row. And so this Wynton Marsalis and a couple other of his albums I picked up. So it was only $1 a piece, and took them home, listened to them. There's a couple things that were okay, but this is like years ago before I was even into jazz whatsoever. And so I just hadn't gone back to it. I hadn't stumbled across it in my collection. And then as I was going through and cleaning out my jazz this weekend, I saw it and like, let me give this a quick spin. I don't really recall. Blew me away. Oh my goodness. I mean, just like this perfect combination of free jazz and smooth jazz and traditional jazz and just everything mixed into this album. And I was like, holy cow, I've been sitting here with this thing on my shelf all this time and just totally let it slide by. So just another very cool thing about going through and kind of doing that cleansing of your collection. I mean, it's just being able to discover new things inside of your own collection, which is awesome. Great album. I cannot recommend that enough. Let's see, one other thing before... Actually, hold on. Two other things I did trade for. I had a few dollars credit left the other day, so I picked up Schindler's List. He had that in the store as well. And I'm sure you guys kind of know this movie pretty well. If you don't, I mean, this is one of those movies where there's no way you can watch it and walk away and and view life the same way. One of the most impactful stories from World War II. And I did pick this up too because I kind of need it in my collection, because maybe those of you that don't know me as well know that I am in kind of I'm a huge World War II junkie. I mean, when it comes to just the whole concept and trying to wrap your mind around what was going on in the world and what took place and what happened, it's completely mind blowing to me. It's almost like it's so big and so vast that you really can't wrap your mind around it. And so I mean, so I have like a number of different movies, whether it's Schindler's List or U-571 or Pearl Harbor or The Pianist. That's a great one. And I mean, a number of others too. And Schindler's List is just one I never really stumbled across. So it was really, really nice to get that in my collection. One of my to-do lists before I die, my top 5 on my top 5 to-do list is to go to Auschwitz. I have to step foot on that ground before I die. And I've always just imagined or kind of envisioned the amount of emotion that I think is going to kind of overcome me the day I do step foot on that ground. I just think it's going to be I don't know. It's again, it's just something that just completely and totally blows my mind to try to understand the vast nature of what took place in that war. Really is mind blowing. So I would get into more details about it, and but I don't want to darken this video too much. But yeah, so I want to get into more details about it because again, I want to keep things a little more peppy here. So one more thing before I show you the recent things for trades. My brother, who is out in LA, he's an actor out there doing a bunch of stuff, kind of knows a lot of people and all that good stuff. Well, he happened to throw a few names by me that, I was like, what? And so one person that he's, kind of gotten to know and everything is Chuck Negron from Three Dog Night. And so when he told me about that, I sent my record out there and got it signed, which was kind of cool. So that was a very, very nice addition to the autograph collection, which is really cool. So I wanted to share that one and thank my brother D for doing that. And here, we'll just kind of jump right into these. I won't go into a lot of anything because a majority of these records, but here are all the new additions from the last 2 trades. Number 1, I just got this one today. I picked up a copy of Physical Graffiti. This is the new reissue by Led Zeppelin, so that was kind of nice. I've been getting, throughout the course of these trades, I've picked up all the new reissues of Zeppelin. I still need a copy of Presence. I don't think they've done a 180-gram reissue of that, but I just need a good copy anyway. And yeah, so then I'll have at least all the new 180-gram reissues, which is nice. And this was a cool part too, because when I told him I was getting into the MoFi stuff, he actually ordered a few for me that I could use with our trade. So that was very cool. So I picked up a copy of Judas Priest, Stained Glass, which is really cool. So that was a good addition. Also picked up a copy of the B-52s. And I wasn't aware that this was not a gatefold, just the single sleeve. So this is actually my first copy of a single sleeve MoFi pressing. From what I understand, as far as the vinyl goes, it's the same pressing, same quality. It's just a single sleeve and not a gatefold. But yeah, so the B-52s, that was a nice pickup. And then he also ordered this for me, which is a KC and the Sunshine Band, which is also a single sleeve MoFi pressing. So 3 more great additions to the MoFi collection, which is nice. Next here, we have the Stones, Rolling Stones. And this, of course, is Hot Rocks, 1964 to 71. Just a really nice 2 LP greatest hits. I have this on CD, but it's nice to have, especially a brand new copy on vinyl, which is cool. And then this was another set that he ordered for me as well. And this is kind of also part of what I've been doing on these trades, is that I'll take some of the albums that I have that maybe are in decent shape, and I'll trade those in to build up credit to buy new reissues of that. And one of the groups I'm doing that with is Black Sabbath. So he ordered these for me as well, which was, again, really, really cool. Black Sabbath Self-Titled. So again, you guys know all about that album. He also picked up a copy of Masters of Reality. And Black Sabbath 4. So that's nice too, because through this process I've picked up all of the new, at least the Ozzy Sabbath reissues, with the exception of what's the one with the little cartoon type drawing in it? I'm going totally brain dead here. You know the one I'm talking about, the one that goes right along with this one here, which is Never Say Die. I know I'm going brain dead on the title of that album, but that's the only 180-gram reissue I need to get, and my Black Sabbath, the Ozzy years, will be complete, which is nice. So this was the one album I was telling you about in the collection I actually paid for myself, which is, I paid like 19 bucks for it. So that was a good pickup as well. Back to more of the trades here. Sepultura. I didn't even know they had reissued this on vinyl, actually. which was kind of nice. I just walked in and saw it sitting on the shelf, and I was like, oh, took me every bit of 5 seconds after walking in the door to grab it. And from what I understand, I think it's on blue vinyl. I haven't opened it yet, but so that's a really nice reissue. Next here is kind of an album that I've just slept on for the longest time. Just really never paid that much attention to it, and finally sat down. I'd seen it in his store so many times doing these trades, and I came home and just decided to get on iTunes and actually listen to it. And I thought, oh, hey, I've got to pick that up. I know, don't hold it against me. I should have had this a long time ago, but Joy Division. I finally got a great copy of that. Listened to it all the way through this past weekend, and yeah, I slept on that album way too long. Then the Zombies. It's another good piece he got in the other day. And a nice sealed copy of Neil Young's Zuma. So that's another good pickup. And this is one too where I have I burnt a CD of this a while ago, and I've listened to it a number of times. There's some decent stuff on it and so forth. But again, in the context of trade, I thought this will be worth the pickup. And so I got a copy of the Smashing Pumpkins with Shiana there. I don't think I showed this in my last video, but if I did, forgive me for doubling up. And Television, Adventure, their second album, I believe. So I picked up Marquee Moon a couple of trades ago, and then he got this one in the other day, so I picked that up as well. That's one of the really cool things too about the trade is not only, I mean, obviously I'm getting new records, but I'm sending records out as well. But I think it's kind of cool with going through the trade. There's some things I pick up that if I was just paying cash out of my own pocket, I probably wouldn't spend, you know, $20 on that Television album, because yeah, it's a decent album, but there's things that'd be higher on my list, my priority list. So that's definitely been a nice plus with the trade too, is allowing me to pick up things I normally wouldn't have. And then last but not least, I have to get all creased up. Yeah, the Decemberists. This is one he actually recommended to me in the store, and I listened to a couple of tracks off of it, and it was pretty decent. So I went back and picked it up on my next trade visit and listened to the whole thing this past weekend. It's a pretty solid 2 LP album. I mean, there's some good stuff on here. There's maybe 2 songs on here that I think could be thrown off because I thought they got really sucked, but then the rest was like very, very good. I mean, a very solid album. So a good introduction to the group for me. So anyway, there you go, VC. Just wanted to kind of share some of those recent pickups. And I said I probably still have at least a good, I would say I have at least a good 2 or 3 more trips there. Because by the time I get done cleaning out these other sections, I'll probably have at least 2 more trips worth an album, 2 or 3 more trips or more albums. So there should be a few more things coming. And then once that cleansing kind of takes place, I'm sure my new finds will be dying down, because I have not been spending a lot of money on vinyl at all. So anyway, thanks for watching, VC, as always, and we will. Oh, I know one thing I want to mention. When I was in the store this afternoon after work, and I was kind of browsing. This guy and this girl came in, and they were kind of browsing, and I went to the counter and I asked this guy if I could look at a box set that was behind there. And as soon as I asked for the box set, he goes, Are you on? I said, are you on YouTube or something like that? He goes, I said, yeah. He goes, are you Mr. Hall of Fame? I was like, yeah. And then we kind of chatted for a second, whatever else. But it was just so funny because he said, as soon as you asked to look at that box set, I just knew that was because of all the box set series, how much I've been getting into that and everything. So I'm not gonna mention his name because he's not posting videos and everything right now. So I don't know if he even wants his name out there, but. It was totally awesome. He seemed like a really, really cool guy, and I told him to PM me because I definitely want to see about hanging out with him sometime. So, man, if you're watching this video, make sure you do, because I would love to hook up with you, come over, spin records, the whole 9, and all that good stuff. So, thanks, VC, and we will talk to you soon.